Hello everyone, my name is Zach, and we're going to give a full Raytha demo today. In this video, it's version 1.4.5 as of the recording of this video. We're going to do two parts of the demo. One is just cover the features, cover the functionality, excuse me, and we're also then going to demonstrate how easy it is to create a completely fresh website with the assistance of Cursor and Opus 4.5. So what we're going to do first is spin up a new Raytha platform, and we can do that super easily using Railway. We're big fans of Railway, so I'm just going to right-click, template, search for Raytha, and deploy. It's going to take a couple minutes for it to just spin up, and off that goes. So that's going to cook. And also, we're going to tell Cursor to build us a brand new website. And I just wrote this prompt right before hitting the record button on this video. And this is the prompt. I am creating a video demonstration of the Raytha platform to see how easy it is to create a website. Your goal is to use PromptMD, I'll show in a moment, as your baseline, but come up with an entirely fresh idea for a website that would make for a good demo. Since it is a demo, you should keep the models thin on the number of fields, so my video is not too long in length, but enough to give the viewers a good sense of its capabilities. We need at least a home page, content type to showcase list and detail views, and the website should look impressive. Get some wow factor in there, and use best practices and get creative with the design. So, I'm going to load up Cursor, and I pulled down a code base which will provide links to that you can pull from GitHub that basically comes out of the box with prompts and context just so that you can use Cursor to create a Raytha website in like one shot. Like, this is vibe coding at its finest. So we have prompt MD here. I'm going to add this to the chat, and then I'm just going to paste in this prompt, and I'm on agent mode. I don't know what's going to happen. It's basically telling it to say, just do whatever you want. Just impress me, and we're just going to let it fly. So while that is going off, let's head over to another demo platform that I have set up and ready to go. We'll just cover some of the key features. So on the bottom left here, we have admins. Very like anything you might expect, you can create admins. You can give them roles, send them a welcome email. For the admins that are already here, you can reset their password, remove their admin access, suspend access. You can also create an API key because Raytha comes out of the box with an automatically generated REST API. So you can create an API key to connect to the API. And this will inherit the permissions of the admin for which you create the API key for. Some people, my recommendation would be to create a separate admin account just for API usage so you can control its API permissions. Of course, you can edit the permissions that each role has and create your own custom roles, along with whether they have read, write, or configuration permissions on the custom content types that you might be creating later. The next item down is configuration. A lot of this is boilerplate for when you set up a new Raytha instance. Nothing too interesting there. So here you have the ability under the authentications system scheme to determine how people log into the system, both public users as well as admin users. So out of the gate you get email and password, but you can also enable it for admins or public users or both. So you may want to have different login mechanisms depending on the types of users. You also have magic link. I have them disabled for both right now. And you can create your own, and you can create several, whether it's for public or admin. And the reason you could do this is that you might want to do JSON Web Token authentication or SAML authentication. Like, for example, maybe you want your admins to log in through Google Suite or Google Workspace, whatever they call it now. You might have JSON Web Token for people to log in through a membership platform or something like that. So that's real nice to have. And an SMTP, what will happen is first it will inherit, or the Raytha will use the SMTP credentials that are set in the environment variables in your hosting provider. In our case, it would be Railway. We didn't set any though. We just kind of fired it off. So you can get started without setting any SMTP. You can even come here later and put them here if you want to, or you can go back and set them in the environment variables. So it's up to you. This will override the default one you set in environment variables. It's here for convenience. All right, let's just keep going up the chain here. We have audit logs, so any change made to the system will log who made the change. And in order to clear audit logs, you need the top level permission for managing the system. Otherwise, what would be the use of the audit logs? But this is good if your database starts to fill up over the years. With audit logs, you can clear them. All right, now we got functions. Functions is interesting because this allows you to write back-end code using JavaScript. So we have a whole bunch of documentation available how to write functions in Raytha, but at a high level, it's useful because you can create custom endpoints, and the custom endpoints have full access to the underlying Raytha API. So you can access data, you can read and write data, and then you can return JSON, you can return raw HTML, or redirect to another user. You can do gets to the endpoint, you can do posts to the endpoint, so maybe you'll have a contact form, you can actually build a contact form and have the full back-end logic right here. And then we also have run. So run is only, you have here for get and post is available on the HTTP request trigger type, but for these here, content type created, updated, and deleted, it acts more like a webhook or a content trigger. And so run is basically saying, okay, here, run this data, run this code on this payload that happened. I would say commonly you might want to set up like a webhook, and you have access to HTTP client here. So that's why we just have a default example written for you. Menus. It comes with just the default menu with a couple items showing here. But you can create your own additional menus like footer menus and things like that. And you can reorder the items. Email templates. When you enable SMTP, you have the SMTP credentials in your platform. You can receive password reset emails, things like that, but you do have the ability to edit the content that those emails actually send. All right, we're gonna skip over themes. We're gonna come back to themes, but first we're gonna go to users here at the top. So this is where you would have your public users who can create accounts if you want them to be able to. You can have user groups. You can manage them by coming in here, resetting their passwords, suspending their accounts, things like that. What the user groups and the users is useful for is maybe you have like a members only website, or maybe you have some content that is only accessible to members, kind of like cordon off different areas of your website. And user groups, if people belong to different user groups, which could be automatically populated through a single sign-on, by the way, you can actually have different levels of access for your public users. Like you might have a section that first you have to be logged in to see, then you have to be a member to see, but then you have to be an elite member to see this special section, right? So it's tied to the account, and you can do all sorts of nifty things with that to kind of group users into different areas. All right, those are the overall kind of baseline functionality that you have. Now we're getting into the meat of the actual functionality, which is the content management component to it. So you can create your own content types, but out of the box you get just pages and posts. Okay, but you can create as many content types as you want. Now here you have just the default home and about. We have a search list view. You can come in with the columns. You can choose which columns you want to appear on this. We'll just kind of add a few in here. Just like that. So now we added more columns. And of course you can reorder the columns. Okay. You can edit your content. You can put images and videos inside the WYSIWYG fields. You can just click view just to go to the public site. Settings here. You can choose which template. So we're editing an existing one here, and of course you got revisions and delete. So we'll just head back. And of course you can create a new page. You can export the data to CSV. You could also import the data. But what's cool is that you can create multiple list views, right? So let's say I want to duplicate this view and just say only some pages. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that. Oh, we'll say pages some. I don't know. All right. So now we created a clone of the first view, and we can always, of course, swap to the other one. Go back here. We can favorite this view. And this view is also available as /pages. It's published, so we can go there and see what's happening because it's using the list view template. But let's hop over to the other one that we just created. And this one's unpublished, but we can access it there if we did publish it. And you get this feature where you can modify the columns, filters, and sorts for these list views. So if you add this here, and we'll just say, I'll just pull this one and just say title contains home. Click save. Now it's filtering by just those. So you have a full filtering ability using the and or group. So I'll just delete that, save. But here's the thing, is that when you publish all of this, then it actually kind of shows on the front end just the filtered version of that view. So if let's just say, we'll say some pages like this. Let's click save. And then let's publish it. And actually, I'll come back here, filter. Let's add that back. Okay, so now we have this. Let's favorite this. All right. Let's go to the live website and let's go there. So now I'm here on this list view that we created. But if I go back and we go to the other one, that's at /pages, right? And so I can just change this to /pages because we have two list views. And now it's showing, because this one was not filtered. So this one shows all of them. So that's what's really powerful about these list views. You can create multiple list views, and the ones that you publish, you can go to those routes. And that allows you to have like different filters or pre-filtered ones that you want to do. And so with that, it looks like this finished, so we'll come back to that in a second. So even with this, again, we have documentation on all sorts of filtering capabilities with the list views, but you can add more filters to your existing list views like this. So I'll say filter equals, and I'll say contains, and we'll say title home. I'm just kind of doing this on the fly. Don't know if, yeah, that worked. So it takes your filtered version and then adds another filter on top of that. You could disable, maybe you don't want people to be able to do that. So if we went in here and I said ignore client filter and sort query parameters, click save, I did it again, it will ignore the extra filters or sorting that we put on here. But this allows you lots of flexibility to have multiple views, and then on top of that you can even filter on the filtered views that you set up. So you basically get full flexibility there. Okay, so we covered quite a bit on that front. Let's go to configuration, because again we're still on this content model. You can update the default template. You could choose what's a different primary field. And under fields, this is where you would create your own fields. So we can add another field type, and we'll just call this, checkbox like featured item. Click save. So if we do that, now we have this developer name. We can come in here, and if I edit one of these, I can check the box and say that it's a featured item. So you could go create all the fields that you want, and we have some special fields as well, which is to create a relationship to another content item. So a one-to-one relationship. I'll choose. You can even choose the same content type. Maybe they have like a parent-child relationship there. But we'll say posts. I'll click save. Oh, I'll say associated post. Okay, let's go back. If I edit, I can add a relationship, and I know that I have another post that's just called Hello World. This is that primary field. That's the importance of the primary field. And I'll click save and publish, so now we have that as well. All right. We're going to cover themes by finishing our demo with hopefully what Cursor and Railway have done for us. So we're looking at this. This is Railway. So this got deployed, and I'm going to spin this up. Okay, this is a fresh copy of Raytha. It's never been turned on before. And I'm just going to just fill this out with a bunch of test data so we can get in the system. I will copy this here. Okay. All right, we're in. So we're in a fresh, completely green copy of Raytha that was spun up on Railway. And let's check Cursor. Hopefully Cursor is done. Did we build it? Let's see. It looks like Cursor is being overloaded by the community, so I have to click try again. All right, I'm going to pause this video. I'll let Cursor run it, and then we'll come back. All right, we're back. We had to downgrade to Sonnet 4.5 because the new Claude Opus 4.5 is down. So it's just finishing up right now. You can see this. It's providing just some like overview of some kind, but it created. Okay, here are the models it created, and here's the HTML. I've not seen the HTML. I don't even know what I'm looking at. It looks like it created some events website. So let's let's see what it's just going off right now. All right, we'll go in here and then let's just open the. I'm not sure which page it created as the home. If it modified this as the home page or if it created its own home page. I think it should do this. Okay, let's load. Whoa. This is something. Totally AI doing whatever doing whatever it wants, and it didn't use a good font color there. Explore events. Okay. So we have these events, and if I click on here, then I click on here and I see a detail view. So I'm back to all events. All right, this is a great case for a demo. Okay, so we have a homepage, which I'm hoping will show upcoming events if there are some in the future. I don't know if that's going to work or not, or if this is just hard coded. And then we have events here. We can click on this. It's just a perfect demo. It's got all the elements that we want to see. And let's go ahead and turn this into a Raytha website, because all this, again, is completely on the local system using that repository that kind of helps you create Raytha websites. But if we wanted to, we could just talk to the AI and be like, no, create this or change that, and just keep talking to it until we're happy with the result. I'm happy with the one shot. And again, this is just for demo purposes. So we're going to copy over these liquid files, these liquid templates, into Raytha. It's just going to be a straight copy paste, hopefully. Sometimes, something might break. But we're in here now. I'm going to go to themes. So this is where you create your Raytha themes. I like to create a duplicate of the original theme, just so we have the first theme as undisturbed. And I'm going to call this the Stella Events theme. All right, we'll do that, and then we're going to come in here and set this as the active theme, and this is where we're going to do our work. We're going to go here, and this is where all the templates are, right? So you can modify all the templates, and everything starts basically with the layout template, which everything else inherits. Again, you can create your own layout templates if you want to, but I'm going to click edit on this layout template, and there is no parent template for this, but we're just going to go in. I'm going to grab the layout from Liquid, the Liquid template that Cursor created, and I'm just going to copy it over, just straight copy paste, and then click publish. And then I don't know, is it going to break? Oh, all right. So this is using the default from the default homepage template, which we did not modify yet, but we can see right away that the header and footer and overall styling are set, and it worked. So let's just go and do the others. Let me just grab this real quick. So we have a detail view. Oh, let me go into the templates, detail. It's pretty thin, default. I'll come over here. And we do have to remove this. That's from the simulator, but it doesn't work in Raytha's Live. We might update the simulator to not do that. Okay. And then we have the list view. I'm going to copy that over. Click publish. And then we have the home page. All right, so we went ahead and did that. But the problem is like we copied over the theme, but we didn't update any of the content types because it's clearly that there's things that we need to modify on that front. And so let's take a look at what it wants us to do with the content type. So we have pages and posts, and those are the default. So we'll just leave those. But we do need to add a third one called events, and then we need to populate it with, basically these fields that it wants us to do. All right, so let's create a content type. We'll call it events, event, save. Let's go to the fields, and what does it want us to do? We got a description, an event date, and an event type. We don't need this content one, I'll just delete this. Create a field, description, it wants a long text. It also wants event date. And event type, which is a drop down with these options: meteor shower, solar eclipse, lunar eclipse. All right, it gave more options, but 3 is enough for our demo. Okay. And let's just create some sample events. We'll say content item detail view, and we'll just say big solar eclipse. We'll say check out the fun events during the solar eclipse. Give this a date. We'll say this is in the future. And we'll say it's a solar eclipse. Save and publish. Good. We'll just do one more. And we'll say it's a lunar eclipse time. We had a great time at the lunar eclipse. Give that in a date in the past. All right, let's click save. Now, let's just check out the site. Oh, I think we need to fix one thing. We're still using the home page template on that. Go back here. Thought we updated the homepage template. I guess we didn't. All right, look at that. Oh, and we have upcoming events. This is interesting because it's in the past. We could probably fix that with some filters, but this basically worked in one shot. We need to, so view all events. We would want to properly link that. Explore events. Where does that take us? Yeah, let's just fix that real quick. So let's go to the homepage template. I'm going to search for events.html. I think that'll be all we need to do. Let's refresh. Back to the home. We have a bunch of links we need to fix. Let me first test that. Okay, so that looks good. And then events. I'm expecting to see the events list view. Let's see what we got. So this is the home page. This takes us to events. And events takes us, I think I modified the wrong theme before, which is why I was confused. I'll go to the list view again. Yeah, I think I did that. I think I just fat fingered the wrong thing. There we go. That was my fault. I definitely put in the wrong thing there. So just to do a few more cleanup items. Just see if there's anything. This is fine. Let's go back to the layout. HTML. Alright, so we'll clear that one out. I think we're good there. Let's publish the changes, and then let's go to the main menu. And this, we could probably just clear that. Let's go back here, and then here we can say events, save. Well, is there anything interesting? No, there was nothing interesting on that. What if we just go back here? Let's just say about. Oh, okay. That looks pretty nice, actually. And they did this too, so you can still see more cosmic events. Well, it's very impressive. All right, so we'll leave that here. And then here we'll relabel this to events and events. So now we have a dynamic menu. Let's refresh the page. And I think we're good to go. We got that working. That one is probably not. I need to fix that. Oh. I think we still need to fix these links here. All right, let's go back to layout, see what the menu situation is. Which is right here. So if we refresh, select element, oh, I think I see what's going on here. I think we just put too many slashes. How about now? There we go. All fixed. All right, sometimes that's all it is. This is looking pretty great. We could probably do some more stuff here about how to make this look a little better so we don't have to have these times. And there's a lot of stuff we can do. We could talk about this all day. Yeah, I hope you like this demo. It's a full-on demo taken from start to finish of all the functionality. And then we created a completely original website with its own content types. Pretty powerful stuff. If you like what you saw here, go ahead, hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.